Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, once again, we are in the van cave. Uh, I don't know what the temperature actually is outside, but it is beautiful here in Iowa today. It's supposed to be in the 30s today, then cool back off tonight, and then I think the high tomorrow is going to be 21 or something like that. But this is a breath of fresh air. For the past, I don't know how many weeks, the temperatures at night been well below zero, and the highs during the day have been in the single digits. I mean, if it got up to 12 during the day, even it was, like a good break for us. I know I've burned up a small forest in my wood stove at the house. Burned, I don't know how many gallons of LP. It's been bad for the past, I know, well over a month, I guess. But it warmed up today, so we got out. And I'm going to go through a little bit of the challenges of camping in a step van. It's there's definitely challenges. I mean, as far as being comfortable and plenty of room, you can't beat it. But we'll get into the other stuff here in just a little bit. So I'm going to get the van opened up, my step put out, and I'll take you outside and show you around. All right, folks, we made it outside. I don't know if you can hear anything. The wind is supposed to have gusts up to 33 miles an hour all day. But I did look, and it is 35 degrees out here. And it is nice. I mean, other than, well, there you go. Somebody grab that hat. All right, beautiful. All right, now we were going to talk about the challenges of camping in the step van. And if you can hear me, this is one. When it gets wintertime, this is not the most nimble vehicle you'll ever drive. And especially when the wind is blowing this much. Let me get on the other side of the van and see if we can get out of it some. This thing, first off, I do have some fairly decent tires on it, but it's two-wheel drive, and it's just got like a limited slip rear end. With any luck, I'm going to try to put a locker in that rear end this summer, which will help a lot, especially when it's like this. When I go to pull out of here, it might be a little bit of a challenge. There's a little hump over there where you get up on the road. So we'll see how that goes tomorrow. And another thing, when the roads are like this, and the wind's blowing like this thing is one giant sail. I mean, you hit a crosswind and you'll know it. Well, if you even hit a headwind, you'll know it. So it's not real nimble. Then I'm getting back in the house. This is a 1976 model. So there's no such thing on these as anti-lock brakes, traction control, anything like that. What you get is I got disc brakes on the front, drum brakes on the rear, and being a 1976 model, any one or three of them may work at any one time. Which luckily, like most of my viewers probably, this is kind of stuff you grew up driving. Not necessarily a step van, but this is a P20, which is 3/4 ton. And they say it's on a K5 Blazer frame. They just extend the frame a little bit in the back. But it's gets to be a challenge driving it in the winter. Or, in the spring when it's muddy even. Excuse me. Now, another challenge, obviously, if I lived in it full time, it probably wouldn't be that big a deal. But I don't. Half the time, or most of the week, it sits in the driveway. And like I said, the temperatures the way they've been lately, everything in here, I don't know if you can see that, that's froze. And I don't know how many bottles of hot sauce that have already froze and busted. Of Corn's froze solid. It won't even shake. I don't know about these, but they're jalapeno Vienna sausages. So what I'm going to set them do is set them down here in front of the heater duct. Try to get them thawed out, because we're going to need those in a little bit. And another thing in the winter, those 2 blue jugs down there are normally full of water. Well, in the great state of Iowa this time of year, they will freeze overnight. So those are empty. What I did, I just brought bottled water, put it in the cooler where it wouldn't freeze, and which it wouldn't sitting out here with the heat going. But that's another thing. You got to watch what you leave in here if you're not going to be, in it every day and keep the heat blowing, which I'm not going to. I can't afford to. I guess I could plug it in at the house and, maybe leave a little space heater in here or something. But that's how you make it on the news, I think, space heaters. And see, what's some of the other things? Your groceries will freeze, your water will freeze. It drives like a sloth. I mean, the old 292 6-cylinder's got plenty of get up and go. And it's extremely low geared, because you get up about 55 miles an hour and that's all this old girl wants. But it gets me where I want to go most of the time. Some of the other challenges is heat. Like tonight, it's going to get down in the single digits, I believe. Well, I've got the diesel heater running down there, which is fine. But like I said, it's a Chinese diesel heater. It's running now, has been for a month or two. But who's to say it's going to run all night? You always got to have a plan B. And here's my plan B. It's if you've been on the channel, you've seen it before. It's an Ozark Trail heater. It's like a buddy heater, only it's sold by Walmart. And I don't know who makes it, actually. And there's a tank of propane for it. So, but that's another thing. There's millions of YouTube videos that'll tell you how to fix them when they go bad, or the buddy heaters. So they'll go bad. What do you do? I mean, when you're out of heat and it's 6 degrees, well, one thing you do, I got a wool blanket, I got a fleece fish blanket, I got a fleece, some kind of camouflage blanket, but underneath there, I have a sleeping bag. Not sure what it's rated for, but that sleeping bag has a quilt that zips to the top of it. Summertime, I take that quilt off. Well, in the summertime, you're not going to sleep in that sleeping bag anyway. It's a little too warm for that. But I have sat in here with, I woke up with it like 14 degrees inside here. And I was warm as heck as long as I didn't get out of bed. But sooner or later, you're going to have to get out of bed. And that's where common sense plays a part. Just dress for it. I mean, don't crawl in your sleeping bag with all your clothes on. I mean, keep your base layer on, or, whatever you're comfortable sleeping in. But, get out of them blue jeans, Carhartts, and all that. Because you'll sleep a lot better. You'll stay just as warm. Just use common sense. But what it boils down to, when all of this fails, say you didn't have enough covers, which you should, both heaters quit, whatever. There's one thing that's going to help more than anything. That's this right here. Good part about a step van or a regular van or a car, you've always got the keys. Just get in it, crank it up, and go somewhere warm. If you can't go home, you can always go to a truck stop, go inside, sitting there. You can go anywhere long enough to get warm, but don't freeze to death. So that's all you got to do. Use a little bit or a whole lot of common sense, and always plan, because I guarantee you, I wouldn't be out here if all I had was one heat source. And if worse comes to worse, I will hook up that Coleman stove in there and light 2 burners on it. But I do have a carbon monoxide detector, just in case anybody wonders. And I have a smoke detector. So maybe we're going to live. All right, I'm going to shut this off. Then we'll get to the fun part of the video. Well, I don't know how fun it'll be, but I'm going to eat some lunch real quick, and then I'll get back with you. All right, welcome back, folks. We are, well, I'll tell you what we've been doing. We've been sitting around here watching the wind blow, or listening to it. And I was sitting there watching YouTube videos, and I was about to fall asleep. So I thought maybe I better make some coffee. And I don't know if you can hear this little fan blowing down here. Another drawback on the winter van life or whatever, step van, probably in any van though. Last winter, I didn't worry about it because I was actually using lead acid batteries, deep cycles. Well, I've switched over to LifePo 4. Well, when it drops below freezing, I think it's 32 degrees, they quit accepting a charge. I've been in here all day with the heat going. I mean, I don't have it very warm in here, but, well, it's 60. But I checked a while ago. I have an app on my phone to check the battery. I checked and there was still a low temperature protection on the battery. The batteries weren't quite up enough to charge. So I put a fan here blowing heat back up under there. Maybe they'll start taking a charge because it just dawned on me. It's already, I'm not sure what time it is, 3 o'clock or after. And I've wasted this whole day full of sunshine when I should have had that battery heated up where the solar would be working. It's been a long time since solar would do you any good in Iowa. But we're going to make a cup of coffee. And I know that's a Stanley boil and brew French press, but I'm going to use the Stanley pour over. Every now you just got to use whatever you feel like, I guess. I could do a French press, then I'd have to clean it up, or I can do this pour over. And what I do, I took the little insert out that strains the coffee grounds, because if you don't have coarse ground coffee or medium grind or something, some of it still gets through the little strainer deal that goes in there, which is actually this, has fine holes in it, goes in there, and that your coffee strains through that, but you'll still get some in your cup. So I just stick a coffee filter in there. Works great. Then you pull the filter out, throw it in the garbage, you're ready to roll. So I'm gonna mess up. So what I'm gonna do, let me cut that camera off for your witness to the crime or whatever. I don't know. I can cut it off right here. All right, folks, welcome back. It's been a lazy day, really. The wind has not quit blowing. Earlier I looked, it was like 18 miles an hour with gusts up to 28 miles an hour. And there were times sitting in here, you could feel the van rocking. So not much going on outside, that's for sure. We're going to try to get some supper. We're going to try to get some supper going here. Hopefully I can make it work out. All I had was this bottle of oil, which you can see I used all of that. And this isn't quite half full. But what we're going to try to do, I got 1 potato, but that ought to make enough French fries for me because, I'm all health conscious anyway. But I'm going to make some French fries, and I know I'm going to catch hell for this, but then I've got some fish. So I'm going to try to fry fish. And before anybody says anything, I'll tell you, yep, it's tilapia. And I know it'll kill you, and I don't know. It's worse. About the worst fish you can eat, I guess, but it's good and it's cheap. And that's what I had in the freezer. I'm going to do that. I have some of Sandy's top secret fish breading somewhere right there. It's mostly yellow cornmeal and all of her top secret seasonings she puts in it. She doesn't even tell me what it is. I don't ask. I just eat it because it's good. So we're going to get some supper stirring here. But I got to peel this potato, cut it into French fries, cut these fillets up a little bit because that's not a very big pot there. So we'll do that. We'll get us some fish cooked. I know a lot of people wouldn't cook fish inside the van, but probably not the worst smell in here. Not only that, I noticed while ago, the way the wind's blowing, you can feel air coming in around this door pocket right here. And the top of it's wide open that goes down where the roller is that the door slides back in. So I'm going to have to seal that off one day somehow. And I know this lighting is not the best, but that's where it's at. There's nothing I can do about it. Well, there is something I can do about it, but not tonight. So I'm going to get some potatoes peeled, fish breaded, grease hot. Then we'll cook some fish. All right. Hey, and what we were talking about earlier, just the things about camping in a van this time of year. If you've got any ideas or tips or whatever, leave them in the comments. Got any suggestions? Leave them in there. Want to tell me something I'm doing wrong? Keep it to yourself. No, don't. Let me know, please. But I'll get back with you when we get some fish going. All right, we are back. Got my fish cut up a little bit because I'm using such a small pan there. Got it breaded. Got my French fries cut up. Well, I've had them cut up for a while. As you can tell, they're turning a little bit of brown, which I could have alleviated that with some of this lemon juice, but I didn't put any on them. But I think what we need to do is see if our grease is about ready. And I don't have a thermometer with me, but if we can put a little bit of this cornmeal in there, it ought to tell us something. Ooh, I'm thinking it's about ready. Not quite ready enough. We'll let that go a little more. I really hate to turn it up because I don't know. I did a video back in the summer. I was at a state park and I was cooking some trout, and I was going to make French fries outside on the picnic table with my little butane stove. That didn't go well. Apparently, I had one more beer while the grease was heating up, and it got a little too hot. But I was able to clean the stove up and the picnic table. So we don't want to go through that again, especially not in here. It's cooking. We're doing all right. I believe it is safe. I'll let it get a little hotter. Well, I don't want to cool it off too much though, because it's not real hot. What we better do is find something to put these fish on when they get done. That looks like it'll work. Throw them on some paper towels to soak up some grease. And I mixed up some hush puppy batter. So we're going to try to make a couple of 3 hush puppies. I didn't do the full recipe because I knew there wasn't no way I was going to eat that many. Tell you what, I'm going to let those get done before I even put any more in, because I'd like to cook a little bit quicker than that. They are cooking pretty good, though. All right, I'm not going to make you watch the whole painful process, but you get the idea. We got a bag full of fish, probably a lot more. Well, I say probably a lot more than I'll eat, but you know how that goes. Once I get started, it may take me a while, but I'll probably finish it. All right, I'll get back with you when it's done and show you what we're working with. All right, let me shut this off for a second. All right, I was watching YouTube there. I don't know who it was really. It was just up next. Our fish is done. Well, the last of it is done. Now, we'll put the French fries in next. And this is where I had the problem the last time. So, I just need a witness for the insurance company in case this goes bad. Not really. Or I hope I don't. Well, need to not splash it on me. That'd be a good idea. I got enough grease. I think I do. Get rid of that. Kind of knock these apart a little bit. I'll tell you what, people, it has been nasty outside today. It's the warmest day we've had, and I don't know how long. It got up to 35, 37 degrees, something like that today. But the wind was blowing so hard. And of course, I'm right here on the edge of the river, and the river is froze over all the way across. And that wind blowing across that cold river, or that frozen river, ups the game a little bit. It has just been something else. And like I said earlier, there's been times the whole van's just sitting here rocking, you know. I think the wind did calm down once it got dark, but I didn't even bring any firewood. For one thing, there's not a fire ring here, but I could build it my little portable fold out grill thing. It works pretty good for a small fire, but I didn't feel like doing that really. Well, actually, I ain't going to say that. I didn't even think about it. Matter of fact, I didn't think about a lot of things when I got ready to leave. I was trying to figure out what I needed. My wife was asking me if I needed this or needed that. Well, you know, I got to kind of take it slow when I'm thinking. But come to find out, I probably needed about half the stuff she asked me about. But I don't know. I can't let her be the genius all the time. Fairly clean plate. I'm going to put some of this fish on here to make room for the French fries on this plate with a paper towel on it. And hopefully, I'm going to be able to cook these hush puppies. That mix has been sitting there for a while. Maybe a little dry. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to add any water to it. I think well, I don't know. Sure as I do, it'll be too thin. And the best way to do this hush puppy mix is if you'll wet your spoon before you drop the hush puppies in there, they'll roll off the spoon better. And I guess I could do that. Put a little water in this coffee cup. I'll tell you what, if I had to decide, well, I don't know why I opened another one. I've got a bottle sitting over there. If I had to decide what was the best thing I've gotten for van life or, you know, camping like this, it would be a toss up between that 12-volt refrigerator and the diesel heater. I, I never really thought I needed a 12-volt refrigerator that bad because I've got a pretty sporty Cabela's cooler. It's like a Yeti, only it's, branded Cabela's that'll hold ice forever, but it's so heavy you can't move it. I mean, if you've got anything in it, you sure can't move it by yourself. And it takes up a lot of room. That was a game changer. And that diesel heater, I tell you what, it's that's the only way to go. Like I say, I've got that little Ozark Trail heater. I've got a couple other LP heaters that I use in my deer blinds and stuff. But that diesel heater beats all of them. And you can, well, all right, I'm not even going to pretend like that didn't happen. I was discussing the diesel heater and the LP heaters I've got. Anyway, I dropped that spoon on the floor and then picked it up and continued shooting a video and showed you my plate. The beautiful hush puppies and the fish and the French fries, and just carried on just normal stuff. Well, I sat down over there and was eating and was watching the segment I just shot on my phone. I don't know. Somehow I cut it off. Anyway, there wasn't no way to edit around it or anything like that because it didn't make any sense where I shut it off. So I had to fire it back up, reload my plate a little bit, and show you what's really going on. But it is good. Everything's done. Overdid the hot sauce on a couple of pieces. I ain't going to lie. But we're going to make it. All right, guys, if you get a chance, hit like and subscribe. And also hit that notification bell. That way you'll get notifications when I post a video or go live or whatever. And it's about time for me to try to do another live. I'm not going to do it tonight, and I'll put a notice up before I do, I guess. Excuse me, people. But thanks for watching, and I'll get back with you most likely first thing in the morning. So bear with me. Morning, everybody. It is a beautiful 8 degrees outside. The sun is up. I woke up about 4:30 this morning, and it was a little chilly in here. So I turned the diesel heater up. I thought, well, I'll crawl back in bed and just stay warm for a little bit while it warms up in here. I woke up about 6:30. Man, I slept better from 4:30 to 6:30 than I did all night. So I've been lounging around here drinking coffee. Ta-da. And called the wife. Everything's lovely at home, I guess. Then, I don't know. A little later, she texted me back and said, take your medicine. Yes, ma'am, I will. Because I ain't going to lie to you, I do forget. But it's time for us to stir up some breakfast. And it is going to be a lovely one, folks. I got 2 packs of maple brown sugar instant oatmeal and 1 pack of apple and cinnamon. I figure that ought to be a hearty enough breakfast, 3 packages. And if my calculations are correct, they call for 2/3 cup of water for each one. So that ought to be about 2 cups. This is 16.9 ounces. So if I leave 0.9 ounces in this bottle, I should have the correct amount of water in there. I have no clue what 0.9 ounces is. We'll call that 0.9 ounces. I was sitting here. I took the covers off the back window well after daylight, and I'm just staring out the back window looking down the river. And here comes 2 coyotes walking out on the ice. Well, I watched them for a little bit, and they were probably 300, 350 yards down the river. Got my binoculars out and was looking at them. I thought, once again, I could have had that long lens on my camera and got some pictures, but I didn't. I guess I'm a little slow on the draw. Some people have a knack for that, wildlife photography, but I just, I'm always like a little kid. I'm just, ooh, look at that, look at that, when I could be filming it or video or taking pictures anyway. But we're going to gobble up this oatmeal and then go outside and take a look around, I guess. It is a beautiful 8 degrees here. I might have already told you that. But it is going to warm back up today. Well, it's going to warm up in the high 20s. It's not going to be like yesterday. And I'm not sure about the wind. I didn't look that far into it. But I'm going to get this breakfast done, eat it, then we'll get outside and take a look around. And if that sun gets around close to where we're at, which we're behind a hill here, so it'll be a while, I'm going to throw that spare solar panel out there and get them both hooked up, see if we can get a little charge in the battery. But till then, I'll see you in a little bit. Tell you what, folks, it is a beautiful morning out here, except it's still only 9 degrees. I think the high today is going to get up to 27, 29, something like that. But I thought it'd be a good idea or a good time to get everybody out here and tell them about a few of the challenges of camping in a step van. And it's, there's a few. But on the plus side, when I get ready to leave, all I have to do is fold up that little black step stool there at the door, throw it in there, and take off, and I'm ready to go home. Well, I mean, you do kind of have to secure your cabinet doors, stuff like that. But other than that, it's not a bad way to go. I'll tell you what, I'd rather have that than anything else right now, I think. I don't know, maybe something a little newer one day or whatever, you always want something better, but that right there does me fine. I love it. See an old barn way back there, if you can see it. Other than that, not much going on. Hadn't seen any more wildlife since the coyotes. But you never know around here. This is one of my favorite squirrel hunting spots, but I'll tell you what, I believe I've about got it, I wouldn't say hunted out, but I believe the rest of them out here are on to me by now. Be nice when the park opens back up and get back up in there and have a fire ring and actually be warm enough to sit outside around the fire. Right now you'd about have to have a bonfire, I believe. I'm just pointing at the sky and everything else. I'm not even paying attention to what I'm filming, I guess. All right, folks, if you get a chance, hit that like and subscribe button, hit the bell so you'll get notifications. And as always, thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. And it's people like you that allow me to do this. So I will get back with you on the next one, I suppose.